Enjoy delicious homemade iced tea this summer. See on pack for more recipes, because nobody makes better iced tea than you and 5 Roses.
That was such a nice interview the other day. I think I really enjoyed listening to him talk about his little one. Yeah. But anyway, Christmas is just around the corner, which means spending some much-needed time with our families. And what better way to celebrate this summer weather than with a beautiful get-together and some delicious, refreshing iced tea. Everyone's got their own special festive tea recipe. And today we've decided to share our very own, a 5 Roses chamomile spritzer that's calming and delicious. And on that calming note, I've decided to let you get your hands free, and I'll be doing all the work today because I've decided to become a barista and not a chef.
Woosa! On that note, I will not complain, honey. I love that, Dumi. Thank you so much for whipping up this recipe because it's so true. Sometimes we want to enjoy something hot, something tea-like, but not with that heat.
Correct.
So this is a way of enjoying our tea and enjoying those chamomile flavors.
Correct.
But just, you know, at a different temperature for summer.
Correct. So what I'm doing here is I'm getting that calming effect of the chamomile into some hot water. What we wanted to do now is just to steep nicely. I've added a bit of honey in there as well. And all we want to do is just to melt dissolve the honey, but also just to steep and get that beautiful flavor from the chamomile. Beautiful. And I'm sure I've mentioned this to you that the recipe has been entrusted with 6 tea masters. So they're the only custodians of this recipe. So that definitely means that for over the years, the quality stays the same because they've basically been watched and say, you better make sure that this comes out right every single time.
I love that. To put this together as well, what other ingredients do we need? I can see that you've also got some aromatics there.
Yes. So because we're talking chamomile, I decided to add some beautiful aromatics to that. Over here, we've got some cinnamon bark, we've got some star anise, we've got some dried apple. Obviously, you can change it up, but what I would normally do is add the aromatics to the hot water. So that way, when it actually gets colder, you know that it's steeping with that and absorbing all those flavors as well. And then I'm also going to add the star anise. Some people say star anise, some people say star anise. It's up to you. There is no master of pronunciation. So I'm just going to let this steep for a bit while that does its thing. We've got some that we already made here. We're going to mix all of this together with some apple juice. So this is going to cool it down. But before I do that, I'm going to add a bit of ice cubes into our drink because like we said, we want a nice chilling drink. We don't want to, it's summer, you're not drinking hot drinks. I don't get people in summer that still drink tea.
You know, Dumi, besides just the heat element as to how you want to enjoy it, because you can still have the same recipe hot, or you can enjoy it cooled and refreshed like how we're doing it today. But what I love about this recipe is that you're taking the chamomile flavors and the chamomile tea, adding it with apple. Now, I did not know that the 2 flavors were complementary.
They actually do complement each other, and that's why I like also the 5 Roses range, because it gives you the options, because we could use any of the other blends that they have, and it would still work. So to make this even more pungent, I'm going to add our aromatics into this as well. And then, I told you earlier, it was the cinnamon, the star anise, and then we're adding our dried apple slices. And then top it off with our tea that we made a little earlier.
All in that same jug.
Obviously, if you don't have time on your hands and you want to do it all immediately, you could just let the tea steep, and while it's steeping, once it's basically steeped enough, add it into the cold ice cubes. You know, that way it also cools as it goes. But I would normally suggest rather let it cool down first. And then we're adding our apple juice into this. And that is it, Balisa. Our drink is ready for us to enjoy. I mean, if this doesn't scream summer, I don't know what does.
Whilst you're just pouring that up, I can just set the scene for you right now, Mzansi. I'm having a Christmas party, inviting my loved ones, Umano, Baba, those that are already within the household, because we already know with COVID-19, there ain't no cross-pollination of households.
Oh, hell
everyone stay at home. But you know, as everyone is heading out of their bedrooms and coming out, joining everyone, you're just handing them that cool, refreshing drink before eating.
Correct. And that's basically it, Balisa. Our recipe is delicious, and we know that the best recipes are always #made by you. We've received so many incredible entries for this competition. It's going to be such a tough decision. But anyway, you need to tune in next week to find out who the lucky winner is, and we'll be making your recipe live here on the show.
stunning. So on social media, going from everything in the kitchen to everything under your Christmas tree, I wanted to find out, Dumi, what is on everyone's wish list? So if we were to just head over to social media, we've got Boipelo, who says definitely home appliances. We also have got Jennifer, who says fashion. We've got Didintle, who says tech, Afternoon Express. But we also see Kenneth Bam here saying definitely tech, so that I can stay updated. I love that. Let's keep the comments going. But what is up after the break, Dumi?
Girl, we are being joined by one of your faves, Chef Clem, who's going to show us how to make a Norwegian salmon with lettuce. But there's so much more. He's got a lot up his sleeve.
Refreshing, sweet, tasty, but more coming up.